Hey, what's up, guys? Come back here to finish putting this Pro R diff together. I got the new bushings for the spider gears from they had them in stock, got them here in a couple days. Shout out to those guys. Same price everywhere else too. Rocky Mountain didn't have them, so we're gonna get these pushed into our 4 spider gears. And if you guys watched the first video, we've already got the pinion gear in, all ready to go. Just got to put the actuator on there and get that seal changed, and our spider hub assembly bolted back onto our ring gear, and we'll be ready to put the rest of it back together. So I'll go ahead and get these bushings pressed into the rest of the spider gears, and we'll get everything in here and show you guys how that goes together, and then we'll come back. Okay guys, just wanted to show you this, putting in these bushings on the spider gear. Quick way to do it without a press. If somewhere you don't have a press or don't have the right stuff for your press to do it, you can just take a bolt, get this started in there, and maybe you ought to do one-handed. Take your bolt and get it in here, and another washer here. Start it. Get all squeezed down. Sorry, trying to do this one-handed. It's a little harder. You're just gonna tighten this up. Get it all straight, of course. And you'll just tighten that down, and it'll pull that right in there. See if I can set this up where you can see it. Okay, well, sorry about the poor video into that, but you can see it's in there, nice, flush. And then I got them all 4 in there now. So I kind of got everything laid out here where it goes back with the same shim and whatnot. Yeah, it's kind of dirty because this diff's been laying here since last July. So we've got 2 other diffs, so this ain't being concerned. But you can see how much tighter if you watch the last video, how loose it was. But these basically have no play anymore on the gears, so they don't really move at all. So that's something to check out on these, is these bearings, because if them spider gears can walk, they will bind, and that will eventually break a spider gear. I haven't seen that happening on these very much, but it happens on other diffs, so it can happen on this one too. Okay, so one thing I'll show you is mind my messy garage. Okay, if you're like me, I like Amsoil, starting running in quite a bit of stuff. But on the front diff on the Pro R, it's not like the other Polaris. So this is the fluid that Amsoil recommends. You can see Polaris demand drive and AGL. It says gear case and transmission fluid. If you look on the back, it says do not use in applications requiring API GL5. Well, the shop where I bought this used Diff from, the only place that had one, gave me this for the front diff, and I was not thinking, I was in a hurry, I was on vacation. Pretty sure that's why these bearings were not in the best shape in this diff. This is actually the one you need for the front diff. It's an actual gear oil, 7540, and this is what you're going to want to use in your diffs if you're using Amsoil. If not, you can just use the regular Polaris gear oil, which we've got over here. A little spider project there. But let's see, the angle drive fluid, I believe that's the gear oil Polaris recommends in the diffs. It's the actual gear oil. You guys know what gear oil smells like, but that's what these front diffs on a Pro are supposed to have. It ain't like the Hilliard hub of the past. So, alright, we'll see if we can get these spider gears back in here and then get the ring gear bolted up. Then we'll be able to put everything back together. Alright, what's up guys? We're ready to put these spider gears back in the carrier. Okay, I've already got one in here, so you can get one of them in here. Don't be an idiot like I was and forget to put your block in before you put the rest of them in. So once you get the one shorter one in here, because you got two short ones, and there's only 3 pinholes, so the 2 short ones go across from each other, and the long one goes here where the single is, single pin. Okay, so you can put your block in here on there like that, and I've already got the 1 pin and the shim in there. Make sure you get your shims in there. Okay, so then we'll go ahead and try and put the other short one in. Got our shim, our spider gear, just slide it down in here like that. And then take your pin with the hole toward the outside. It'll be a little easier when you stand it up and get it lined up, and then take your little pick, line your hole up here. Okay, and then you're ready to drop in one of your pins. Go ahead and do that if you can here. See, it just presses right in there. Alright, so then we can take our long pin, got it right here. You gotta put both spider gears in on this one. Got our shims. There's the back one. Here's the other one. Okay. So make it a little harder to line everything up. But stand it up here. That one through there, through our block. And let's see if we can get through this last shim. Stand up here and take our pick and line that up here. And let's see it line right up. All I was going to do is line your other hole up. Okay. Bam. 4 spider gears are in. Got your block in there. Make sure you got your block in there. Everything's nice and tight. Turns freely. Before these other bushings were slap out. So then you got your ring gear here. Okay. And this has got a bushing in it. This one's got a little wear, but it's okay. So this piece with the shim set in here. I'll take a little bit of my trick shot. I like to use this. I lubed up all these pins with it before because it doesn't evaporate. And this diff's going to be setting for a while, so we don't want anything rusting anymore. So that sits in there like that. Okay, and then this just is going to set on these locating pins here and here, and you can see on the ring gear got them here and here. Okay, so you just want to take this and slide it together if you can. Okay, so here locating pins ain't wanting to line up. No, I was on the wrong ones. Okay. Yeah, see, there you go. You push this together, and then we're ready to bolt it down. These here Torx bolts. Now this is the first generation Pro R diff with the smaller ring gear. Here in a minute, while I get this bolt together, I may get out the new one. That way you guys can see the difference in the new one and the first gen. Okay, the biggest difference is it's got a bigger ring gear in the new one. This is a smaller one. We've had 2 of these, and the first one broke the teeth on the ring and pinion gear. You guys can see some of that in the other videos. This one we bought used when we was on a ride down at Wind Rock and Royal Blue, and it made it through the weekend, but I think due to putting in the lighter Amsoil, it ate the bearings up. Now the hold down on the pinion bearing had backed off, which we got that all situated, put back together. If you guys want to see that, go to the first part 1 diff rebuild video, and you can see all this with the 4-wheel drive actuator and everything put together. So we'll go ahead and get this ring gear bolted down and come back, and we'll show you how to put the full drive actuator and everything in the case. Okay guys, we're ready to put our ring gear bolts in. They're Torx T40. And then we're going to put some JB Weld Permalock red. This is just what I got on hand, but you know, just make sure it's a high strength thread locker. There was some of these that come out at first, players didn't have thread locker on, and you've seen a lot about the bolts backing off and eating the ring gear up. So we'll go ahead and start these here. So once you get them all in there, I would get them all started and then tighten down to the recommended torque, which I have to look that up. But with these having a history backing out, I just get the thread lock on there and make sure they're at least torque to spec and maybe a little tighter. So we'll get all these in here, and then we're going to get our bearing and seals in our outer locking side of the case. Okay guys, if you want to change these seals in your case, where your axle shafts go in, this actually goes through on this one, but here you go, you can just drive them out right at this point. Just take I've got an old seal driver I've been using forever. You can drive them out to the outside there, and these don't have a lip, so you have to watch when you drive them in. You can drive them in too far. So there's that, and then here's the new Polaris part number 1. Okay, so, and then the one on the other side the same way. I'm not sure I'm going to change that one yet. This one, the spring had come out of, so it was not going to be good. But so I may actually put that seal in once I get the carrier down in here, because I don't know if I want to be trying to fight pressing this bearing in this case and the seal at the same time, because it could damage the seal when you do that. So I'm going to try and put this down in here. Now with this bearing going in that case, you're probably going to have to give it a little love tap, or it may just sit right in there, but I'd say it's going to need a little coaxing. Okay, so what I'm doing is you got to make sure your ring gear lines up. I'm just going to give it a few taps here. Hopefully it'll go on down. Just keep working it around. We're engaged with the gear starting to be, and there it went. Just went right on down. Just fell right in. So if you wanted to make that a little easier, you could possibly heat your case up and it would slip in even easier. See here now when you put that seal in, you're not going to get it too deep, and hopefully it'll go right in. So I think we showed you the Polaris part number already. It's already got grease on it. I'm going to use my trusty trick shot on the outside here. And let's see, that'll start in there. Let's see, I'll get this down here. Seal driver. Okay, gotta be real careful. This lip likes to ride up on there. taking a little pick to make sure it goes down in there all the way, doesn't ride up. See there now, and then right here it's doing the same thing, trying to ride up on that lip. That's why I said it'd probably be best to put this in after you got the ring gear in there, because it's wanting to bite that lip up. It's so tight. See, then once you get that lip around there, it just goes right in. I'm going to get me a little socket that fits that perfect and tab it down just a little more after we get done, but for right now it's good enough. I'll get it bolted together and we'll come back. Now that the ring gear's in the case, it's time to put the four-wheel drive actuator in. So these are different than other Polarises. This is a shim that rides here in the middle of this. Okay, and the way this engages, this ring gear, once it gets lined up, this will lock in. See how it locks in flat with that? Okay, that might not have been the right orientation. I gotta remember which way it goes. But this diff, when you lock it in, you want to be lock it in before you get yourself in a bind, because this thing needs to rotate to lock in. So if it's halfway engaged like this, so you hit the lock button, it's not going to be instantly locked like the Hilliard style with the magnet. This is going to have to make a rotation to get that spider gear free into that, back into that groove, and that's going to click in. So if you got it in a bind and you hammer on that without a spin, you're going to end up wearing the edges off on these dogs in here, on here, and in here possibly. And then what will happen, you've seen it on a few of them already, it just won't stay engaged. It'll start slipping on those teeth, and then it won't stay in four-wheel drive lock. You'll just have three-wheel peel, which is not always the best. Okay, and then how this engages, this arm here, my finger's too fat to get in there, but so the solenoid presses on this, and that'll move that arm, and it'll engage this guy here, sits in here, and see that moves and locks it in. So this solenoid here, which these solenoids, the one for the actual four-wheel drive engagement and the one for the locker, are the same part number. But the four-wheel drive locker one's got this little spring and boot that goes on it. Four-wheel drive one's just got this spring on this end, and the spring comes in from the other one's end. Which all that's in the first video if you want to see how that goes together again. Hey guys, we got our bearing pressed in here, and our four-wheel drive actuator slid on there, shim behind there that holds it in. Got everything lubed up. These bearings are the Sandcraft kit, which are nice Japanese bearings, and it comes with Japanese bearings and Polaris seals in the Sandcraft kit. You can see them in the other video if you want. So this, when you slide it together, you've got to make sure that this is lined up with these, which you're going to want to bind up when you go together, alright? So you're going to take and set it down here. Okay. You're going to want to look in here and try and see if you're halfway lined up. Okay. Yeah. Looks like we might be lined up, so take it down. And you can move your pinion gear. It should all lock together. Give it a little tap. Get it down there. And there it starts going together. Everything's starting to slide into place. Gotta watch this seal here. Make sure that lip goes down in there. I'm just gonna go ahead and get it down in there so it doesn't try and press it out. Now we got a couple more taps. Okay, at this point everything started together. Go ahead and take my bolts, which are 12 millimeter, and get everything started. Okay, and then you should be able just to suck it together real easy now that everything's lined up. That bolt wasn't happy there for some reason. Okay, take my little Milwaukee 1/4 inch and go the right direction first of all. I'm just going to snug it down in a crisscross pattern. And that goes right together. Okay. Okay, and then this one has got 2 bolts up here in the rib section. The newer one is a little different. Okay, so run these down here. Alright guys, so we gotta tighten this one. Alright, now I'll go back around and hit them with a hand ratchet. To just keep the video going here. So we can put on our actuators now. So this is real simple to do. This one sets in here with the little spring bucket. Okay, so it should just set like this. I'm remembering right. It should set like this, and then this guy screws on behind it. Okay, these actuators, don't worry about mixing them up because they're the same part numbers. So that's not a problem. Okay, so that guy just goes like that, and then you just screw this, got an O-ring on there. This just screws in here. Okay. And get it screwed down here, and then you can get your wrench on there and give it a little snug it up if you want. Okay, so this other one doesn't have the bucket, it's just got a spring, goes in there and hits the arm. I think I've said it 10 times, but you can watch part 1 if you want to see how that goes together. And you just screw this in here. It's a tight fit on that wiring on these. There we go. Okay, so we'll tighten them down and we'll put a hand on these case bolts. But there you got it, guys. Roll our Diff back together. And it turns, so we done something right. Alright, so that's pretty much it on this. Ready to go for when we blow out a couple more front diffs. And we'll get the other one out and show you real quick the size difference. So we'll get that out and show you that, and then we'll call it a day. Okay guys, we got both the Pro Or front diffs here. This is the first generation, which would have come on your 22s, and a half a year on 23, I believe. And then Polaris realized there was an issue, and I went to this guy here. So some visual differences is you can notice that the ribbing's gone off the top of the casing, and that's due to having a bigger ring gear on there. So they couldn't actually have this casing come out. This ring gear comes all the way to the top now, which is quite a bit higher. It's probably an inch or so bigger. I should have measured it, but I haven't had to take one of these new ones apart because they seem to be holding up really good. So they're seem to have it lined out, hopefully. Okay, so if you're looking for one of these, first thing to look for is that ribbing. And then the older ones got this textured case, and on these older ones you'll also see that team logo on there. Okay, so these are the older ones, smaller ones. Some of the guys have had luck with running these, haven't had any issues, but some of the guys, if you're like me, you went through 2 of them in like 600 miles. So luckily I ended up buying a bigger one off eBay because these were on back order, but my dealer did get us one of these under warranty. Shipped it up straight from Mexico off the line. So you can see that's the visual difference of these two Diffs. I don't know if anything else is different in here, but obviously the ring gear is bigger. So see how they keep on up. We'll let you know if it breaks. Got plenty of rides scheduled this year. Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and if you like what you're seeing, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell button for the notifications. Thanks for watching.